take it for granted that we're going to have somewhere to sleep at night. So my entire life, I did think that. And yet, in my 40s, for 2.5 years, I was homeless, and that was during my main time while I was in Toastmasters. And this gives me a great chance to tie into tonight's theme, which from about achievements and goal setting, because it was setting goals, and what I learned about setting goals while I was homeless, that I was able to get out of homeless. I already have a green light. I cannot have spoken that long already. Wow, I really went over my introduction. So I've got 3 lessons I learned while I was homeless about setting goals. And the first lesson that I had was first of all, the very first thing you need to do is you need to get clarity. If you do not have clarity around what your goals are, you have absolutely zero chance of achieving them. Tim mentioned SMART goals, and SMART goals are a very useful tool in getting clear goals. It's very common for us to set goals that are either have goals, which are things we want to have, or things that we want to do, like go on a trip, but it's less common for us to set goals that are based on who we want to become and on who we want to be. And how this ties into being homeless is that while I was homeless, I didn't have a great deal of opportunity outside of Toastmasters to have much achievement in my life, but I did have the ability while I was homeless to work on my character and just choose who I was going to be and the kind of person that I was going to be as I went through life. Then the second part of what I learned from there was you need to get current. You need to take account of where you are now, currently in what's going on in your life in relation to your goal. Where are you starting from to know how much you need to go to get to where you want to be. Now, I wanted to, obviously I thought that having more money would help me to get out of my situation, and I also wanted to I did get caught up in the anger as well. But I wanted to take stock of where I was and what I needed to do, because during that 2.5 years, I had about 27 different addresses. And I knew that I needed to get current, that it wasn't working, that I just keep bouncing from place to place. And I found out today that I've been slumming it, it's called slumming it, where I am, on St Kilda Road, for just over 2 years now. And then the third thing which I learned from that time being homeless was to review the goals on a regular basis. And so what I would do is, I was mostly in Geelong when I was homeless, and you can get food very easily when you're homeless, especially in Geelong. There are places that do food for the homeless for breakfast, lunch and dinner 7 days a week. So you can eat well. And each breakfast on my phone, which James has, just to get James into my speech, because it seems to be the in thing tonight. He did it a couple of times, so I've got to get James in at least once. But I used to have my goals written in a notes app on my phone, and every morning while I'm sitting there eating in the homeless eating place at the church hall, I would be reviewing my goals. And it was so discordant. I'm like, I'm going to earn $100,000 a year, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to own properties, and all these things which were so far from my reality, but I knew that if I reviewed them and kept taking action toward them, that I would be able to get there. And that was the thing which got me out of being homeless. Was it took 2 things. The first was consistency, which was just showing up and taking action every single day. And then the second thing was speed. And I mentioned this in my table topics before, just to weave things together tonight. But the speed, reducing the amount of time that it takes from idea to implementation, makes a difference in your achieving your goals, and also doing multiple things simultaneously. Discipline in any one area affects all of the others, and that's how I got out of it. I started off by I started running each day and doing yoga each day, and all these things were disciplines like that, which meditation, which seemed unrelated to my housing situation, but applying that discipline led to being able to get out of that situation, because it started developing that inner resourcefulness, which I needed to be able to build on to be able to escape it. And that was how I got to my state of achievement, where I've been able to work for the past 2.5 years as a marketing manager for a NGOs provider and charity.
Wow.